Hey, you guys, I'm Kristen Cantrell.
And I'm Angela Fazio. You're watching the spinoff of Moms in Real Estate, Girl, Educate Yourself. And this week's guest is Michelle Mojica.
And today, you guys, we've been waiting for this forever. So Michelle is like a traveling expert. And this episode, we're going to be talking about how to find amazing resorts for $500 or less.
A week.
Amazing.
All
so
right,
Michelle, get us started.
Okay, you guys, thank you again for having me. I've actually done a couple webinars and just one-on-one phone calls as well. So I wanted to touch base on my background. So I used to do timeshares. I was in timeshare marketing from the age of 14 to 30. So for 14 years, I spent, those people that are trying to get you to take the tour, or they say, okay, you get 3 days and 2 nights for free at like Vegas or California. And what you have to do is take this timeshare tour. So I was in charge of those. I started as a telemarketer, at 16. And it was like the best job because I love to talk, right? And I was making $5,000 a year at a really, really young age, no bills, no responsibilities. And by the time I left at the age of 30, I was a director of marketing, and I was in charge of all those guys, the telemarketing room, as well as the people at the events, like at the concerts, at the fair, so whatever else. But I left the industry because every other day or every day, someone would tell me, sorry, you probably have to edit this one. I'm hearing you in the background. Sorry, I'm at the office.
Okay.
I was always saying, oh my God, you guys are a rip off, you're a scam. So after a while, I'm like, okay, I get where they're coming from. And the biggest thing is that most people don't know how to use it. Okay, so for example, if you went to Hawaii, like those timeshares cost around $50,000, $60,000. And for those that have taken timeshare tours before, it all sounds amazing until you actually have it and you're like, what do I do with this? It's kind of like riding a bike. You gotta you gotta try it a couple times. But if you don't know how to log in, if you don't know how to check in the system, you're gonna be lost. And most people don't know how to use it, and they'll spend $20,000 to $30,000 buying these timeshares that they bought in paradise and never ever use it again. So I'm here to show you pretty much how I do it. I've pretty much hacked the whole system, and to let you know how you can also do the same thing. So what I have done is I actually own like around 30 something weeks. So I'm just going to explain to you guys how timeshares work. So for those that are in real estate, since most of us are in real estate here, think of like a condo. Okay. So if you have a condo, where I own is in Cocoa Beach. So you own one condo 1 week out of the year, right? You pay for that. Typically these condos you'd pay for like $10,000, $20,000 for 1 week out of the year, but you have it forever. Okay. You're going to keep going back to that week. You own like a deeded week at that condo in Cocoa Beach every year for the rest of your life. And you can deed it to your kids and whatever else, hand it down. And then you pay a maintenance fee every year. So the first step is buying that condo, right? And then on top of that, you pay a maintenance fee. So you think of a maintenance fee like an HOA fee. The HOA fee for what I own is $287 a year. Do you follow me? So
Yeah,
$287 for 1 week of that condo or that resort that I own in Cocoa Beach. So where I own at, it's called Ocean's Landings, and I own all studios. So the biggest key is owning a studio. So most people think like, since I have a family of 6, so myself, my husband, and we have 4 kids, and I know Angela has a bunch of kids, so we always have to probably get like 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, maybe even 4 bedrooms, because then it's not all going to fit in a a hotel room. So I have a studio at $287 per year that I pay for on my maintenance fee. And what I do with those, and the reason how I can travel for $500 per week, is that I trade that. So the resort that I own at is a member of this exchange company called Interval International. Okay, so think of Interval International as like a bank for all these vacations, a bank for all these vacations that people can't use. So the resort that I own at is also a member of Interval International. So for all the owners like myself, not that I can't use that week, I just prefer not to use that week, because if you guys Google it, like after this, if you Google it, it's called Ocean's Landings Racket Club in Cocoa Beach. It looks like the Motel 6. It is like 2 stories, but the goal of it is to own at like a beach resort or somewhere where the maintenance fee is super low, because the goal is to trade it. right?
Mm.
So now we're trading it to Interval International, and the resorts that are on there. So Interval International is owned by the Marriott. So the resorts are like the Marriott Vacation Clubs, the Westins, the Hyatts are also on there. So if you guys have been to Sedona, they have the Hyatt in Sedona right there. Like it's called the Hyatt Residence Club, and typically those rooms cost like $500 to $700 per night. And what I do is when I see that room in particular, so keep in mind, every year I have to pay $287 for the studio unit. And when I exchange it for at the Hyatt through Interval International, there's a $209 exchange fee. So that equals to $496. So $500, and there are all 7 nights. And what's
So
cool
wait,
about it, yeah.
So wait, so what you're saying is you bought this random place that's kind of like Motel 6 looking, right? So it's not the best, but what you're really buying is the right to trade. And so is that what you're saying? You're really just buying into this organization that gives you the right to trade.
Correct. So it's kind of, think of it as like Airbnb. If you have your house and then you post it on Airbnb, and to exchange on Airbnb is like $209, right? At your house, and then you can have mine. So it's to exchange it. So people do use their timeshares. There are those that really have kept going back there every year because you do have a deeded week. Let's just say July 4th week. But the beauty of it is you don't have to exchange for another week for July 4th. You can go anytime that there's available.
Is it hard? Is it like hard to find other places that are available?
No. So this is what I wish we could. Next time we probably will do like a Zoom where I can do a screen share. There's so much availability. Last year's, I mean, because nobody was traveling. But this year, I've been doing this for the past like 7 years. So there's actually more people now traveling, obviously, than last year and any other year because everybody wants to get out. But I still have found deals. Like, so for example, we're going on Saturday to the Marriott Colina in Oahu. I don't know if you guys have been. And I was showing my mom and dad, so I'm taking my parents for the week. And the resort is sold out, but there's availability on Interval because there's people that can't go last minute, right? Because you have to take your COVID test, and Hawaii is like really strict in going. So those weeks have actually became available, even if the resort is sold out with like their inventory to stay there, just like a normal person. But if, let's just say, you know, Angela can't go with her family, then she'll let go of that week, deposit it into Interval, and it's available to anybody else to go. So I actually have a 2-bedroom right now, checking in on the 15th, and I have another 2-bedroom checking in on the 16th, and I have another studio checking in on the 15th. So I have a total of, you guys, like 5 bedrooms right now in Hawaii. And I was showing my parents because it was sold out, and I was like, there was no availability until like May 22nd. And just for a 1-bedroom mountain view, it's like $4,700.
Oh my gosh.
Plus your resort fee, plus your parking fee. And if you're staying at,
So wait, you don't have to trade like for like. You're just trading a week for any other week available?
Available, yes. That's the beauty of it. So most people are just like, do you own at the Marriott? Because for those that anybody that follows me on my stories, that's all I post. They're like these Marriott rooms, you know, the Westin rooms, the Hyatt rooms. I love staying at the Hyatts. So no, you don't have to. And that's the beauty of it. You don't have to have like for like, because otherwise, you know, I would be staying at really, really bad ones. And you don't have to do like a studio for a studio. You can go from a studio to a 2-bedroom. So within 60 days, if you trade it within 60 days, you don't have to pay an upgrade fee. So all of my rooms within 60 days, if I go from a studio to a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom, cost me $496. There's no resort fees. There's no parking fees because I'm there like as an owner, like I'm exchanging this. But after 60 days, if I want to get from a studio to a 1-bedroom, it's only $59 to upgrade from a studio to a 1-bedroom for the whole week. And then if you want a 2-bedroom, $118. I mean, it's like
insane. Okay, so I guess the biggest question that people are going to have is, okay, that sounds all great and I get it, but I have to know how to find a timeshare that's going to be in that network that I can afford with a low maintenance fee, and I have to understand how to search to find, you know, the other property that I want to trade it for. Is that, go ahead with that.
So you can find, if you go on eBay, if you go on like Craigslist, I've never gotten ripped off on Craigslist. I'm a big Craigslist person. Or there's
Don't give that advice.
yeah, there's Redweek. There's redweek.com has been like verified where actual owners have had their properties on there for sale. You can, the biggest goal of it is just finding something that with a super low maintenance fee. I feel like so many people fall into like, I have to own at the Marriott. It's kind of like a brand thing, right? But in reality, you can drive like a beat up car and trade it for like a Mercedes. You know, that's really the reality of it. I bought all of mine from this lady that had like 100 weeks because she used to travel. Like she used to travel. They traveled for like 2 years with their kids to like all these different countries. So I actually bought 30 from her. But I used it for my team. You can also use it like to send your clients on vacations, like especially those clients that's referred you like 7 or 8 people, right? Awesome. So I use it as an incentive for my team to send them on trips, my clients as well, those that actually do travel. But what I have like 30 something and I keep buying these because people keep asking me. They're just like, I'm not going to want to find it. Just tell me where to buy and I'll buy it from you. So what I started to do with some of mine, even though I have so many and I do use them, I started selling some of mine and they're super, super cheap. So I'm selling them for one for $2,000 or two for $3,000. And also the biggest part of it is most people don't know how to use it. I actually offer, because I'm getting more and more people hiring me now to like, okay, you know, I'll pay you like $250 to go over, because in reality, I'm saving them $5,000 or $6,000, so they're paying me like $200, but that includes like 4 sessions with me to show them like how to use it, where to buy. But you can find free ones too, but make sure it has like a super, super low maintenance fee and it's part of Interval International.
So can you tell everybody if they want to look into doing that with you, how did they get a hold of you?
Okay, they can call me if I don't answer, because since I get a lot of spam calls. I'm sure you guys too. My phone rings all the time. But they can text me at 602-687-0617. I think that's my phone number. I don't know my number.
I'll tell you what it is.
That's awesome.
Is that my 602-687-0617?
That's it. You win. You got it.
And you repeated it twice. You're good.
And then also I have a blog that I started kind of showing people how to do it, because most people are just like, okay, this is too good to be true. But for those that know me, they're like, okay, this is a real deal. I started a blog called the timesharegirl.com. So just like how it sounds, called the timesharegirl.com. And I show on there how I've gotten the weeks. I put screenshots and but yeah, they can call me. And also for those that already own a timeshare, they can reach out to me as well. And I'm happy to like walk them through how to actually use it and how to do searches on there. Because that's the biggest thing. Most people don't know how to use it. They're just like, oh, I want to go to San Diego during this week. And of course, not going to be available. And the reason why, because the check-in might be like on a Friday or Saturday, and they're putting like check-in on a Tuesday. So I'm happy to help. That's what I do.
Well, this begs a question, and we're almost out of time, so we're going to have to do another session. So we can find a place to stay, but how can we get there? And I know you're also an expert at cheap, wonderful air travel. So I'm going to have you back right away for another session. The next session is going to be, how do you get there for just as cheap?
Yes.
Thank you, Michelle.
We'll see you soon.
We will see you soon. Thanks, guys.